Hey, this is Justin, and this is my presentation on tricks for networking with humans. So to start with, I want to say that I'm human, and even though I'm an extrovert and I get my energy from being with people, I still get nervous going to events. I'll walk into a room and I'll feel shy. I can be in a crowd of people and still feel lonely. And what I've learned over the years is that to combat shyness at a conference or an event, a lot of it starts with attitude. And I remember going to a smaller conference, about 30 to 50 people, and I got into the room and I sat in the corner, and I just remember feeling really shy and lonely and just watching all these other people talk and joke and not really notice me. And as I was sitting there, I had this realization that I was acting like a victim. I was completely concerned about how I felt and that no one was noticing me. It was completely self-focused. And from that point on, I tried to turn that thinking around. And as opposed to thinking about what I could get, I thought about what I could give. And this has been huge for me as I've worked on becoming a better networker at events. The other thing that's really helped me is to premeditate. So there's a big difference between I'm going to this event and I'm going to meet some people and I'm going to be thinking about how I can interact with them, as opposed to I'm going to this event and we'll see what happens. So for me, being proactive helps, and being committed to meeting people and interacting with people even before I get there has been helpful in putting me in the right mindset. So here's what I started doing. Instead of hoping someone would approach me at an event, I approached people and introduced myself. Instead of talking, I listened. Instead of excluding, I included. Instead of guarding my emotions, I tried to be open and friendly. And if someone seemed to genuinely not want my company, I just moved on to the next person. And I really have to actually walk in the room and do this right off the bat. If I haven't kind of premeditated that I'm going to be proactive and social, I don't. I'll end up sitting in the corner. The other realization I had was that you can't be picky. You just have to care for people. And, I'm like everyone else. In a crowded room, I want to talk to the most interesting people. The problem is that in a crowded room, everyone is always looking to move on to someone better. And what I've tried to do is to be an early initiator and gradually include more and more people in our conversation. So this is a number of effects. First, people feel cared for because you're not trying to run off and move on to someone better. Second, you become the de facto leader of the group. You're the one people are looking to keep the conversation going, to ask interesting questions, and to engage the group as a whole. And finally, when others notice that there's a bigger group of 2 to 3 people to join and that there's kind of an inclusive leader there, they'll be more likely to join. It's funny, but this is one way to actually attract those interesting people that everyone wants to be with, because those people want a pre-built crowd. So take, for example, like the speaker at a conference. This is exactly how I ended up meeting Neil Patel, the founder of Crazy Egg, and I think he's involved with Kissmetrics as well. I'd initiated this group conversation, and he walked up because he was looking for a group to be a part of. The other thing is you'll want to practice asking good questions and then being able to follow up with more relevant questions. It gets people talking about themselves, which they love, and it's a great way to meet people. So for example, for designers and programmers, one question I'll ask is, do you have any side projects that you're working on? Asking general questions to start is a good strategy as well, because it leads to deeper questions. So when I was at an event in Las Vegas where there's people from all over, I said, hey, where are you from? And the guy said Las Vegas. And then I had a follow-up question, which was, I've heard you can ski around here. I've heard there's a ski resort. Is that true? And we ended up having this big conversation about skiing. So here's kind of some advanced tips I've come up with for actually meeting those interesting people that everyone seems to want to meet. And when I say interesting people, I'm talking about the leaders, the speakers, the company owners, those people that maybe kind of the superstars of an event. So to meet interesting people, you need to arrive early, stay late, and anticipate. And what you're looking to anticipate is transitions. So this has worked out for me a couple times. One example was I was at a FreshBooks dinner, and everybody wanted to talk to Mike and Stu, who are the owners of FreshBooks. And I arrived early, and I started leading conversations with other attendees while Mike and Stu got mobbed. And I just patiently waited for a moment, and an hour passed, and most people left. And finally, it was time to leave, and I anticipated the transition. So I walked out with Mike and Stu to their car, and I said, where are you headed now? And they said, well, we're going back to our hotel. I said, oh, well, where are you staying? And they said, we're staying at this hotel here. And I said, oh, I've been there lots. There's a really great lounge on the main level. It's a great place for a nightcap. And they said, well, we're actually headed there right now for a speaker's dinner. Do you want to hop in the cab and join us? So me walking out with them was key. It doesn't always work out, but walking out to the parking lot and asking, where are you going next, is a great bet. And along these lines, generally the best networking happens at the after party. And so what I mean is, like, usually there will be an event and then there will be an after party, or there will be an event and there will be some sort of social at the event. I've found the best networking happens after that. So this is how I've ended up meeting some super interesting people. I met Ali Asaria, the founder of well.com, because I went out for tacos with him after the speaker's dinner. I met Nick Petit and Jim Haskins of Treehouse. And what happened there is I went out for Greek food with them after the official party. So in closing, I think I'd just like to reiterate that proactive social leaders attract people, and they also attract interesting people. So if you make a concerted effort to kind of create that party wherever you go, I think you can succeed at doing well in events.